Kuzangbola, welcome to Bhutan e-learning project. I am Karma Tenzin, teacher of Dikiling Middle Secondary School, Sarbang Zongkhak. This is mathematics lesson for Key Stage 2, classes 4 to 6. The topic for today's lesson is multiplication and division of decimal, order of operation. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to learn how to multiply decimals using base 10 blocks, multiply in parts, multiplying using algorithm. You will also learn how to divide decimals using algorithm, 100 grid, and at the end of the lesson, you will also learn how to solve problems involving all the operations. There are several ways of multiplying, but we are not going to look at all the ways. Let's look at those few ways that are comfortable, doable at your level. Let's use base 10 blocks. So this is the place value chart that you have learned in our previous lesson. Here you are going to use base 10 blocks. Now let's take an example. Here 3 multiplied by 1.46. So to do this, I'll show you how to use base 10 blocks. So this is 1st column, this is 10th column, and this is 100th column. Now you can insert the base 10 blocks here. Since we have one whole, we insert this base 10 block to represent one whole. In the 10th column, you insert this base 10 blocks to represent 10th, and then ones that represents 600. Now here you are multiplying by 3. You have already have 1.46. Now multiplied by 3 means you are repeating 3 times the same thing. So we are going to insert, we are going to place 3 times the same thing. So second, we insert the same thing. Third, again we place the same thing. These makes 3 times. So meaning 3 times 1.46. Now we'll add whatever we have placed in the place value chart. Let's start from the right hand side, from the 100th column. Now you just add up. There you can see 6 plus 6 plus 6. You have 18. And then in this column, you are not allowed to write 2 digits. So you just write 800 here and then take further 1000 to the next column, that is in the 10th column. So this is how we take. Now here we have another extra. So previously we have 4 plus 4 plus 4, you have 12. Now you have one extra here. After regrouping, you got one extra. So that makes 13. And again, you have 2-digit number here. You will be writing, or you will be placing only the 3 tenth here, and you take further 10th to the next column, that is ones column. We have in the ones column we have 3 ones, and then here 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 10th. When you take to the ones column, it will give you 1 ones. So in total you'll get 4 ones. So 3 times, when you multiply 1.46 multiplied by 3, you get 4.38. Let's take another example. 2 times 1.27. So in the place value chart, so you place 1 ones, 2 tenths, and 7 hundredth. Multiplied by 2, meaning you are going to place twice. So you place again the same thing. So start working from the right hand side. So in 100 place, now you have 1400, which is 1000 and 400. Now 14 is two-digit number, so you're not going to write 14 in this column. You just keep 400 here, and then you take 1000 to the next column, that is in the 10th column. So that makes another extra 10th in the 10th column. So now you have 5 tenths. Since this is only a single digit, you can place 5 in the 10th place. So in the ones you have 2. So you write down the 2. So 2 times 1.27 will give you 2.54. This is for you. So you do it on your own. Multiplying using place value chart. In this method or way, you are going to use place value chart. The question here is 3 times 4.125. So now place the numbers in their respective place value. That is 4.125. Since you are going to multiply it by 3, multiply each digit by 3. So 4 multiplied by 3, you get 12. 1 multiplied by 3, you get 3. 2 multiplied by 3, you get 6. 5 multiplied by 3, you get 15. As we have agreed, we are not going to write both the digit in the same column. So from 15, you write 5 in the 1000 place and take 1 to the 100 place. And that makes 7 here. Here you have 3. Now in one's column, 4 multiplied by 3 will give you 12. So you will write 2 in one's column and then take 1 to the 10th column. So you get 1/10. 3 multiplied by 4.125 will give you 12.375. So this is for you. You try it out. Okay, next way is multiplying in parts. For example, 6 multiplied by 3.2. Here, we are going to make it into part. First, make a part, that is whole number part, and then the decimal part. So first, you multiply whole numbers. We have 6 as a whole number here, and then 3 as a whole number in the next number. So 6 times 3 gives you 18 ones. Now go to decimal part. 6 multiplied by 0.2, that will give you 12 tenths, which means 1 ones and 2 tenths. So 18 ones plus 1 ones will give you 19 ones, and you have another, that is 2 tenths. The product of 6 times 3.2 will give you 19.2. Let's take another example. 5 multiplied by 2.314. Again, make it into part. Let's take whole number. 5 multiplied by 2 will give you 10 ones. In the decimal part, 5 multiplied by 0.3 will give you 15 tenths, which is 1 ones and 5 tenths. 5 multiplied by 0.01, that is 500. Next, 5 multiplied by 0.004 will give you 20,000. That is exactly 200. Now add 10 ones plus 1 ones will give you 11 ones. 5 tenths gives you 5 tenths. And the next we have 500 plus 200, that gives us 700. So the product of 5 times 2.314 is 11 ones and 5 tenths 700. That is 11.57. So this is for you. So try it out. Now, let's look at multiplying using algorithm. Let's take this 3.2 multiplied by 6. Here, we are not going to use base 10 blocks. We are not going to use place value chart. Now, look at the multiplicand of the decimal here. Look at the multiplicand here. It is 3.2 multiplied by 6. Assume that there is no decimal point, which is 32 multiplied by 6. And then you get the answer, that is 12. 6, 2 is 12, and then 6, 3 is 18. Now here, when you add, you get 19.2. Here, multiplicand has decimal point, and that is in the 10th place. So, our product should also have decimal point to the 10th place. Let's take another example. 2.2 multiplied by 4.15. So, arrange in this manner. 415 multiplied by 22. So, when you multiply, you get 9130. Here, the multiplicand and multiplier both have a decimal point. One has in the 10th place and the other has in the 100th place. So, 10th multiplied by 100 is 1000. Therefore, our product must have decimal point in the 1000th place, that is 9.130. So, here I have another question for you to do. This is all about multiplying. Now, let's look at division. Dividing a decimal by a whole number. 36.5 divided by 5. Now, arrange in this manner. Here 5 is divisor, 36.5 is dividend. So, 5 times 7 gives you 35. And when you subtract, you get 1. After 6, you have decimal point. So, you place the decimal point in the quotient. Now, bring down 5. That makes 15. So, 5, 3, 15. So, 36.5 divided by 5 gives you 7.3. Now, dividing using algorithm. 6.1773 divided by 0.3. As both the dividend and divisor are in decimal form, we need to get rid of the decimal points. To do this, first look at how many decimal places from the divisor we need to move towards the right hand side. Here we need to move the decimal point to the 10th place. So, multiply the divisor with 10 and do the same to the dividend, that is multiply by 10. In the previous activity, the divisor is whole number. Here the difference is divisor is also in the form of decimal. So, you have to get rid of the decimal point. So, when you get rid of the decimal, you need to multiply by their place value. So, 0.3 multiplied by 10, you get 3. 6.1773 multiplied by 10, you get 61.773. So, 6.1773 divided by 0.3 is same as dividing 61.773 divided by 3. So, let's divide now. 3, 2 is 6, you have 1, and 3 can't divide 1 here. So, 3, 0 is 0. So, you take down 1. Now, you come across the decimal point, you put the decimal point, then bring down the 7. 3, 5 is 15. So, when you subtract, you get 2 and bring down the 7. That makes 27. 3, 9, 27. And then bring down 3,000, and then 3 times 1 is 3. So, 6.1773 divided by 0.3 is 20.591. Okay, in a similar manner, you try this. Now, let's look at another way, that is using grid. 2.5 divided by 0.45, meaning here we are looking at, and we are finding out how many groups of 0.45 are in 2.5. So here you have 2 whole and then a half. That represents 2.5. Now let's see how many 0.45 can you find in 2.5. 1 group, 2 groups, 3, 4, 5, and still you have 24 squares. So there are 5 groups of 0.45 and 25 small squares left over. 25 small squares is 25 out of 45. So when you divide, you get 25 over 45. Let's look at another example. 3 divided by 0.6. We are going to look at how many 0.6 are in 3. So since there is 3 holes, so this square, this grid, this 3 holes represents 3. Now let's see how many 0.6 are there in 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3 divided by 0.6 is equal to 5. Now you have learned addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. And sometimes you might come across a number expression that involves lots of computations. Sometimes the order in which you do the computation matters, and sometimes it does not. For example, 1 plus 2 multiplied by 3 is a question here, and then this question is given to 2 people, that is Mr. A and then Mr. B. Mr. A solved in this way. 1 plus 2 multiplied by 3, he added 1 plus 2, that is 3, and then multiplied by 3, he got 9. Mr. B, 1 plus 2 multiplied by 3, he multiplied first, that is 2 times 3, he got 6. So 1 plus 6, he got 7. Now, who got the right answer? Did they both do in a right way? Still a question mark in our head, because there are different answers for the same problem. This is why there are rules that tells you the order to use. So you get the same answer to the same problem. The rules are called the order of operations. If you use them, everyone will get the same answer for the same calculation. Are you all now clear why do we need the order of operation? Now the rule is called order of operation. Let's see what the order of operation has to say. The first rule is do any calculation inside the bracket. Second, do multiplication and division next in order from left to right. The third rule, do addition and subtraction in order from left to right. Okay, let's apply these rules here. 5.3 multiplied by 2.4 plus 3.6 in the bracket minus 2.3. Here you can see there are 3 operations. So let's follow the rules. The first rule says do the calculation inside the bracket. So in the bracket we have 2.4 plus 3.6. So when you add, you get 6. Next, you do multiplication, because the multiplication and division comes in the second rule. So when you multiply 5.3 multiplied by 6, you get 31.8. And finally, 31.8 minus 2.3 gives you 29.5. Let's take another. 14.0 minus 3.5 in the bracket multiplied by 9.4 divided by 4.7. Now, actually, you are not going to do the subtraction first. Since this subtraction is inside the bracket, we are going to do the subtraction first. So when you subtract 3.5 from 14.0, you get 10.5. 10.5 multiplied by 9.4 divided by 4.7. Now we have multiplication and division here. So the rule number 2 says do multiplication and division from order from the left to right. So we do multiplication first. So when you multiply 10.5 multiplied by 9.4, you get 98.7, and 98.7 divided by 4.7, you get 21. Okay, we have done multiplication of decimal, division of decimals using various ways. So finally, I have exercise for you. One girl bought 1 liter of milk for 40.25 and a ball of cheese for 35, but he was given a discount. He only spent 70.25. How much of a discount did he get? Question B. A kilogram of rice cost 43.75. Find the cost of 7 kilograms of rice. Question C. Thukten bought 9.25 meter of cloth piece for 425.50. Find the cost of a piece of cloth. So D. 12.8 minus 2.5 multiplied by 2 plus 9.3 in the bracket divided by 1.3. That's all for today's lesson. See you in my next lesson. Thank you.